This is the web series for the love of BIM, promoting Barbados, everything Bajan Canadian, and everything Canadian Bajan. Welcome to episode 8 in season 3 of the web series for the love of BIM. I am your host, Sonia Marvel Carter. Today we continue our chat with Dr. Myrna Lashley. Dr. Lashley is a cultural psychologist and lectures at McGill University in Montreal. She is also Barbados' honorary consul in Montreal. Today, Dr. Lashley tells us about her role as honorary consul, a position which she has held since 2015. She also shares her professional opinion as a cultural psychologist on a much debated topic recently in Barbados, stemming from an accusation of harassment of a journalist, causing her to prematurely end her one-year welcome stamp stay in Barbados after only about 5 months. So for those of you who were asking for more from Dr. Lashley, here she is. Oh, sorry, wait a minute. Just before we hear from our honorary consul, we are again reminding all students here in Canada or coming to Canada to register with the Barbados Consulate using the new registration form. The link for the form is in the description of this video, or you can use the QR code seen here. And I must share another one of the top reasons to study in Canada, according to EduCanada. And they say, we'll offer you an experience like no other. Adventure awaits you in Canada. One of the greatest things about studying in Canada is the opportunity to experience a climate, culture, and a way of life that is beyond compare. From seeing the vibrant colors of our autumn leaves to the soft sounds of snowshoeing through the forests, each season and place has so much to offer. Come, experience Canada and find out why there's so much to love about us. Now on to part 2 with our cultural psychologist and honorary consul of Barbados in Montreal, Dr. Myrna Lashley. Tell us about your role as honorary consul.
Okay, my role as honorary consul is I get most of the calls I get are really about citizenship by descent, how to maneuver through or the government website, which is awful. I don't know how to, so whenever I find a site, I tend to bookmark it so that when people call me, I can find it myself and tell them. But most of it has to do with citizenship by descent, because a lot of people, of course, as I said, don't speak French and they go to Toronto. So it's things like how do I get a visa? Do I need a visa if I'm going on vacation in Barbados? I was born in Burundi, or I was born in Latvia, but I'm a landed immigrant here in Canada. I'm not a citizen. Do I need a visa? The visa information. So I get things for affidavits, where I have to use my seal to sign things for them. It's run of the mill things, but it's important things. And they'll call me and ask me, well, what are we doing as far as COVID is concerned? Can I go to Barbados? Do you know which hotels and how much is the hotel? Sometimes people call me asking me things like, I need to find a lawyer, and I have to tell them, I can't give you the name of a lawyer. I cannot do that. I can give you the names of several lawyers. I can read off the thing to you, but you have to make that decision. I cannot tell you which lawyer to go and see. It's unethical, and I can't be responsible for that. So there are things, they're instrumental things such as that. I go to the mayor's reception. The mayor has a reception every year for the councils, for the diplomatic corps. So I go there and I talk about Barbados when it's time to talk about Barbados. Very seldom do they ask us to speak about our particular countries, but we mingle with each other and we talk. So a lot of the things I do is word of mouth with other councils, and say with other members of the diplomatic corps, say, this is what Barbados is about, and that kind of stuff. The ability to stay in Barbados, the welcome stamp was very brought a lot of interest. I had some people from Finland who called me and said, is it true? Can I go and stay in Barbados for a year and work? Yes, is it yes? You know, can you support yourself? What are you going to do? And those kinds of things. They found that very interesting. Another thing that I get complaints. I get complaints, and I mean, I called somebody in Barbados about this a couple of weeks ago. You might have seen the journalist who wrote about going to Barbados and feeling harassed, you know, by some people, and we call it skin, you know, and she was very upset about that. And I called someone in the government in Barbados and said, look, you guys have to do some education about this, because this is going to cost the country. She's a she's a journalist. She's not just somebody going on the internet and just making accusations, just saying things. This is somebody to whom people will listen. And if she has cut short her visit to Barbados, her working visit to Barbados, because she felt harassed, this is something we need to address. We can't just continue to sit and say, that's we work, that's we business. We can't keep doing that. I mean, our prime minister, she's not the person who said this, but she's certainly acting on it. Our prime minister is talking about us being part of the global village, being part of the world, and being, you know, and taking our place in the world, and taking on our responsibilities. And she's enacted, I mean, we've always had it, we've always been signatories to things, but she has enacted it and said, you know, like child abuse and those kinds. Well, we've got to go one step further. And as much as I'm not saying we should change our culture, but we might have to start looking at modifying it for the good of the country. But, you know, Sonia, it's also for our own women. Women should feel safe. They should feel safe walking down Broad Street or Swan Street or the High Street or wherever. They should not feel that they're going to be harassed, and they should not be harassed. So this goes beyond, I'm just focusing on this, but this goes beyond how a tourist feels and goes into how we treat ourselves as human beings, one to the other. How we treat and recognize that when we treat women that way, we're treating our daughters and our sisters and our mothers and our aunties that way also. It's not because we're not saying it to our mother that we're not. If we treat women a certain way, we're treating all women a certain way. And so those are the kinds of complaints I get, you know, that people come back and call me and say, look, this is that. That being said, I get calls where people come back and say, I had a really, really good time. However, I don't like A, B, C, and D. And it's always going to be, you know, you don't like this, you don't like that. But when it comes to harassment, I think that's something we have to pay attention to. We can't just keep saying, that's how we just do things.
Merci encore, Dr. Lashley. C'est toujours un plaisir de discuter avec vous. Thank you again, Dr. Lashley. It is always a pleasure chatting with you. Now to the birthday shout-outs.
This is your day. This is your day. This is your day. This is your day. Happy birthday to you. May all your wishes come true, my darling. Happy birthday to you. Long life, sweet dreams, and more joy and blessings. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. You have a nice day. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Special congratulations to all celebrants. And of course, Sonia M and Sonia MM. Can you imagine? Two Sonias and both have initials SM. And if that isn't enough, I am Sonia M as well. Before I go, I want to bring your attention to 3 upcoming events. The first is a virtual meeting of the Young Barbados Professional Society on Thursday, September 23rd at 6 p.m. See the flyer for details, as they try to organize the Canadian chapter of Young Bajan Professionals. Do you fit into this category, and are you living in Canada? Then send an email to the address seen here on the flyer to register your interest. Next up is a Zoom panel discussion organized by the Notes of Praise Music School on music and mental health, also on Thursday, September 23rd, but this is at 7 p.m. Check out the flyer for details. Two of the panelists studied music therapy here in Canada, Sheena Strickland and Marquita Thompson. This is an exciting field of study which delves deeper into an area which I am sure we are all acutely aware of, and that is the power of music. And finally, the save the date has been posted for the upcoming virtual Independence Gala on November 20th, 2021, organized by the Barbados-Canada Association. Listen out for more details in the near future, but for now, just mark that date off on your calendars, Saturday, November 20th, 2021. Well, that's all the time we have for today, folks. But remember, play your part to stop the spread of the COVID-19 virus by adhering to the protocols. Be safe and see you next week.
You have been watching Fuhdeloveuhbim.